Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Super 7 San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusive Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Dragonzord black and gold version. So this is black and gold versions of the things that are always been like the event exclusive type stuff. So Super 7 did that this year with the black and gold Dragonzord before the regular release of the Dragonzord. Kind of similar last year, right? The comic Bat, G.I. Joe Bat, Cobra Bat, was released before the regular version. So they do that. They're able to do that as they do smaller quantities, all this and that, blah, blah, blah. But here we have the Dragonzord, and I'm very excited. This is one of my, one of the things that I really wanted to pick up at Comic-Con. And it was awesome because I got to, like, when I got in line and got to check out, I actually got to check out with Kyle. So that was actually pretty cool to do and see. This thing is awesome. I am, first off, a little disappointed that we don't get the brown shipper box for this. Like all the other Super 7 Power Rangers figures all had like the brown shipper box. This guy did not have one, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little upset by that because those shipper boxes kind of help protect these outer boxes. So I was hoping I would still have that. I will do a comparison with the Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinozord in this review, and I am very excited for it. So. The other Power Rangers Super 7 Ultimates figures are done in like the green and yellow packaging, as you can see here, as I try and fit everything in this little space. It's actually a fairly decent amount of space. These figures and boxes and packages are just that massive. So we get like toned down black and gold version, of course. So the Dragonzord power coin there, you can see Dragonzord, black and gold at the bottom. The back we just get a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo, and it's kind of in the vein of the whole black and gold aesthetic piece. We're gonna remove this slip cover to reveal the black and gold version of the Dragonzord, which just looks freaking incredible in the packaging. The only way to fit a figure like this in any package is for it to be sideways because of the massive tail and everything. So that's why the Dragonzord is facing that way and not facing us directly. But the Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinozord kind of did the same thing in the box as well. The box is not as big. The Dragonzord box is much bigger than the T-Rex because the Dragonzord is just a little bit bigger. You can see they're similar in size because in the show we did see them fight kind of side by side at times. So they're similar in size, but not quite. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and get the Dragonzord out of the package because I'm really, really excited about this one. Okay, so I kind of forgot to show the back of it. So here it just says the Green Ranger Zord was a tough opponent against the Power Rangers and the Dino Megazord at first, but following the evil Green Ranger's defeat, the Dragonzord becomes a powerful part of the team, occasionally combining with the other Zords and taking on Rita Repulsa's giant monsters on its own. The Dragonzord is summoned by the Green Ranger's Dragon Dagger up from the depths of the coast of Angel Grove. Every part of the Dragonzord's body can be used as a weapon, from being able to fire missiles from its fingertips to using the tip of its tail as a drill. And just to show you guys, just a picture of the Dragonzord there. So now let's get it out of the box. Okay, so I can already tell you this review is going to be tricky because of how long his tail is. So if I get him to stand straight, like I can't get him in frame fully, and it's just going to be a little ridiculous. But I am going to be able to do that as we do the kind of the close-up stuff. So I can't get like the whole figure in frame when we do that. So it's going to try my best to do that. So let's take a look at the accessories first. We do get the awesome Dragonzord power coin there, which is really cool. It has the Zoo Ranger logo in there, which Hasbro has taken over for it to be like the Zord Ascension project thing. This is a hefty power coin. This is solid metal die cast. So this is really cool. The Zords come with the power coin. So like the Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinozord comes with that power coin. We get a couple of extra hands. So the regular release of this Dragonzord is going to have the same accessories with an additional set of hands that have the missiles actually flying out with like smoke effects and things like that. But here we have the alternate hands with like the missiles at the ready. As you can see there, just kind of, the red tips. And then we get a pair of fists as well. Out of the package, he's got the open hands there. And then we get a miniature Green Ranger. And what I like about this is the paint is actually pretty nice on this because we actually get, white for the boots and stuff. Let's see if I can focus. White for the boots and then the gold shield. So, yeah, that is pretty good. There, so just a mini Dragonzord, and you can see scale-wise, you know, there. But the Dragonzord is pretty awesome. His tail, though, I will tell you, the tail is going to be a balancing act of getting the tail into a position that's not going to cause him to lean back and do that. But I think you can make it work really well. It's just a matter of, you know, balancing it, and it's kind of sticking to that and everything. But yeah, this thing is incredible, and just what you would kind of expect from a Dragonzord. So like the Hasbro has the Lightning Collection, the Zord Ascension Project Dragonzord. It's made to transform and combine with the Megazord and do all those things. So in terms of like, you know, being a solid figure, it's not. Like this thing, you know, is a pretty solid figure and something that you can kind of move around, just as like the Zord. But you know, the other one, the Zap Dragonzord, is really, to me, it's made to transform and kind of do that, is instead of just kind of using it by itself to kind of go up against monsters and things like that. So let's go ahead and get in and zoom in so we can take a look at like sections of the figure at a time so we can see the cool details in there. Okay, so hopefully you can see here. If I zoom in, I think it'll kind of get a little blurry, but we're going to kind of zoom in a little bit, the best that we can. But here is the face. We do have a semi-articulated jaw, so you can move it just a little bit, you know, open or keep it shut there. And that looks pretty good. But looking at the gold details kind of throughout, you know, a lot of these would normally be silver, but you know, it's gold now. But yeah, looks really good. Get like that panel lining in there. The back of the figure, just black. The details, this is painted detail, there's no sculpt detail in there. We get that. Looking at the front, we get a ball joint waist, which is pretty cool. So nice silver and red in there. Painted details are nice. We get that Zoo Ranger logo. Painted details in there. You know, these would be flaps to kind of move things around and stuff, but you know, if we're a non-transforming or non-combining figure, we don't have to worry about that, which is good. The knees there, and then the feet. So looking through here, we get the gold lines along the drill bit tail. That's pretty good. It is articulated tail. You can't articulate it. You can really, it's like they're on a ball joint, so you can kind of get some side to side and whatnot with the tail, but you can't get it to like go down. You can get it to bend upwards like so. You can get the tail to bend upwards like so, but you can't actually get it to bend down. So they're kind of ball joints, but not, I guess, full ball joints. So there must be just kind of like a hinge that's in there that just kind of goes the one way. So, but you still can't get some movement in there. You can actually twist all of the separate pieces as well in there. So that is pretty cool. One odd thing though is that the drill, oh, there it goes. It was just stiff. It does spin on there. I was like, oh, it doesn't spin. But there we go. Just had to loosen it up a bit. So the drill bit end does spin and everything on there. So that is pretty cool. I like this. I can't wait. It makes me more excited for the regular version because the black and gold, as cool as they are, like I want the regular version, and I'm really excited to get that one for when that one comes in. But yeah, I'm gonna, God, how am I gonna do this? So articulation, I can't zoom out and do the full articulation to show you guys. In all honesty, there's only so many points of articulation for this guy. So we talked about the jaw, right? So the jaw can do that. Looking at the elbows, so you can get the elbows to go just kind of down that far and up that far. In the suit, like in the show, it was a guy in a suit, so obviously there was a little bit more range of motion in there. You really don't get that on the figure, but it was always kind of like up and down motion. And any of the other Dragonzord figures, it was kind of the same thing. So that much movement there. The wrists, they do swivel. There is a hinge on here, so you can hinge kind of back and forth. There's the the standard horizontal hinge. To swap out the hands, we're just going to kind of spin and pull out. So we got that there, and then we can do like one of the missile hands, and you always want to kind of work them in. You want to be careful. The missile shooting hands have the vertical hinge on them, so that is actually pretty cool. So you can do that. The fists also have a vertical hinge, so it's just the standard ones that have a horizontal hinge, the standard open hands, like so. So we're gonna pull that out. Let's get that regular hands right back in there. There is some paint chipping from the paint on the pegs itself, so just heads up on that. The waist, you get swivel at the waist. You can swivel all the way around. You just kind of have to work it a little bit. I don't recommend actually doing that though. And then the ball joint, so he can tilt to the left, tilt to the right. It can stand straight up, but I always feel the Dragonzord always kind of had a lean forward kind of motion, so he can lean forward that much there. But the ball joint is cool because then you can kind of, you know, do the waist and all of that. Now the legs, so you have the legs, they do go out, they can go out that far apart, so that's kind of standard, that far apart. Kicking forward is only so far because, you know, the gigantic leg portion is going to hit that hip. Doesn't really go back, it really just gets into a straight mode, so coming forward is a little bit there. You do have a waist swivel in there, so you can actually get some crazy swivel going on there. The knee is a single jointed knee, so you can get that much bend there, but I mean, you have all these huge massive pieces that are just going to hit with each other. The ankle, it can hinge up and can hinge down there. It is on like a ball joint, so there's not really, there's some pivot in the ankle, as you could see there, as you can kind of turn it around. And then you can kind of, oh, I guess the pivot and stuff is going to be all in the swivel, but you get hinge up, hinge down quite a bit on the feet. And then the tail, again, the tail is kind of like on a ball joint and stuff. You get some side to side motion. You really can't hinge it down, but you can hinge up on each one of these parts here. So, you know, that one is the, you know, most that you're going to really hinge down. So it just doesn't give a lot of movement to go down, but again, up is really where most of that articulation comes from. There is some side to side, as you could see, but it is not as much there. So lots of movement in that tail. So there is the articulation. I know it was kind of difficult, you know, trying to get this thing into frame and really see how it is overall. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit and kind of show, like, you know, standing motion of this guy. Okay, so back, you know, to standing motion. I always feel like Dragonzord always kind of has this lean forward type of look. One thing, it would have been nice, I don't know how they could have done it, if there was some kind of articulation in the neck or the head to kind of get him to look straight on out, but you can't, that's, you know, because in my mind I picture, you know, Dragonzord always having a little bit of a lean, but if you stand him straight up like so, you know, that's not an issue. He's looking, you know, straight forward there. But there we go. And then again, size-wise of the Green Ranger and the Dragonzord there. But now let's go ahead and see comparison with the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord. Okay, so here we have the Dragonzord and the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord facing off with each other. And you can see the Dragonzord stands a little bit taller, and that's because the Tyrannosaurus definitely has that lean forward motion that I was talking about, you know, with kind of like the Dragonzord. And I guess actually kind of does, because on that ball joint waist, I am tilting him forward. If you kind of do straight up, he would do that. But you can see he's much taller. In terms of size and bulkiness, they're very similar. Like if you look side by side, they're kind of similar there, and like in terms of width. The tails, the Dragonzord definitely has a little bit of a longer tail, but they are pretty similar in terms of the points of articulation. The Tyrannosaurus, you know, this one can even only go down so far as well, so it's a very similar kind of setup. When it comes to them. The silver on this guy is really nice. So when the regular version of the Dragonzord comes out, you know, I would expect to see the same silver kind of in a lot of those different areas of the Dragonzord. But this one is very cool. Again, you know, it's the event exclusive, the black and gold. Will we see a black and gold Dino Megazord? I bet they would be saving that for, like, I don't know if they do exclusives for New York Comic Con, but maybe San Diego Comic Con next year. But I bet that's something that we will see, seeing as how we got the Dragonzord, and I bet we see that Dino Megazord. One thing that I'm super bummed about is that the Wave 4 Madame Woe was canceled, and the Tigerzord Ultimates figures were canceled due to low pre-sales. And that's really disappointing that the white Tigerzord wouldn't get made, because that would have been one to really get and be excited about, because Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, his passing, a lot of the stuff has become more popular. I would have thought that one for sure would have had enough orders to go through with production. So I'm pretty bummed out that one wasn't. But at least we'll get the Dragonzord. At least we'll have the Dino Megazord. At least we'll have this Dragonzord. We have the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord. We're going to have a few different Zords, sure. But that one really would have been one that I would have been excited to have. Okay, so second to last comparison, because I will show the Dragonzord with the Green Ranger. But here we have the Soul of Chogokin. Shogokin. I can't say it. You guys let me know how it's supposed to be pronounced. But here we have this Dragonzord. I would show it with the Hasbro Zap, except I put mine into the battle mode, so it's already combined with some of the Megazord pieces. I'm just not going to take it out of my display and take it apart and put back in here. It's going to be a lot taller, and then it's not really accurate to the show, because Hasbro took some liberties in the design and stuff like that. Whereas Soul of Chogokin, however it's pronounced, is kind of be the most accurate look that we're going to get. And these two are actually very similar in size. The Soul of no, it's about the same height. They are very similar in size. So once we get the regular Super 7 Ultimates Dragonzord, it's going to be better to kind of look at the color comparisons between the two. It's going to make more sense, I think, because, man, they are very, very similar in size, which is pretty cool. The Soul of Chogokin had just had like the massive drill bit end on the tail, and the tail seems to be a little bit longer or about the same. The thing about the Soul of Chogokin, we got way more points of articulation, like it could come and like go straight out, whereas the Super 7 Ultimates figure cannot. But we also are looking at a massive price difference, because this one does combine, has die-cast parts and things like that. So I don't know what the regular price of this guy is, but it's very expensive. This Dragonzord is $65. You can't order it online at super7.com right now. So yeah, big price difference. The regular version is going to be the $55. So a much cheaper option if you don't need it to combine or anything like that. And especially black and gold, what's it going to combine with? Unless Super 7 does the Dino Megazord, which I'm thinking that they probably will. So very similar in size if you were looking for a size comparison. Zap is going to be even bigger than the Super 7 one, though. Okay, so for side-by-side comparisons in terms of Ultimates, so here we have the Ultimates Green Ranger, and next to the black and gold Dragonzord, and you can see it is much bigger. So I think at one time in the show, the Green Ranger actually grew to like monster gigantic size and fought like the Zords and stuff. So scale-wise, I guess it wouldn't actually kind of work out, but in the show, again, they're just guys in suits, so it had to fudge and kind of had to make it work and stuff. So realistically, this is kind of what you would expect. And really, I would want a Zord to be a much larger figure anyway. If we looked at it in terms of scale of like an Ultimates figure, the Zords would be a lot smaller. They would probably still be cool, but I mean, in terms of Zords, I think bigger is better in this case, especially when the Zords themselves can scale with each other. I don't think they need to scale well with the Ranger. But that's just my opinion on that. Alright, so that is the review of the Black and Gold Super 7 Ultimates Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Black and Gold Dragonzord. You guys let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this Dragonzord? Did you pick it up at San Diego Comic-Con? Are you looking to order it online, or are you just waiting for the regular version to come out? You guys let me know down in the comments below. I think Super 7 does an amazing job with these Zords. And I think they're like must-haves, as long as you don't mind that they don't combine and stuff, because that's not what these are for. That's not their purpose. So you guys let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.